Hey guys, Chris of the Polish Geek, and welcome to another video in the You Should Be Watching series. And now, this time, I'm reviewing the Pillars of Earth miniseries. This is a really excellent miniseries. I haven't actually read the book that it's based on because yes, it's based on a book by writer Ken Follett, and I haven't read the book, The Pillars of Earth, but from what I've heard from the book fans, apparently the miniseries very much does the book justice, with the exception for the ending that some of the book lovers don't seem to really like all that much, but can't really speak on that because I haven't read the book. But for the miniseries, I actually really loved the ending. The Pillars of Earth takes place in medieval England in the fictional town of Kingsbridge and is about building a Gothic medieval cathedral. And I am a general sucker for Gothic, Catholic, medieval cathedrals, or just beautiful cathedrals in general. And here in Europe, there are just so many of them. So, obviously, a series in medieval times about building a Gothic cathedral. Yeah, sign me in for that. So, as I just said, the story of the Pillars of Earth is about building the Gothic cathedral in the fictional city of Kingsbridge in medieval England. It's a cleverly constructed and well-researched story full of engaging characters and also filled with political intrigues, violence and sex. Basically, in some ways you could say it was pre-Game of Thrones, since Pillars of Earth came out in 2010 while Game of Thrones in 2011. Yep, basically Game of Thrones in the real medieval world, but before the actual Game of Thrones came into existence. From the very first episode, you get engaged in a wonderful story that brings medieval history to life and is filled with historical authenticity and compelling characters. There's just so much going on in this amazing story with amazing characters, and not a single episode or scene feels wasted. Every scene feels like it has a purpose. And again, characters are very well written and have clear character arcs. I really love, for example, how characters evolve and change throughout the whole story, and it all feels so natural. Like the character of Alfred, one of the builders of the cathedral. In the very beginning, I quite liked him and thought he was a really nice guy, but in the last episode, I very much hated him and wanted something bad to happen to him. And the medieval time period is so well researched as well and recreated, and it's clear how much knowledge the writers and set designers had of medieval times. There are actually several different storylines in the beginning, and as the story develops and progresses, those stories very much interconnect and all lead to some really amazing payoffs as well as some unexpected twists and turns. Like at first, there is building the cathedral, of course, and it focuses on Tom the Builder and his biological son Alfred, as well as a man named Jack Jackson, with whom Tom develops a strong bond with, and also romances Jack's mom, which also leads to some nasty conflict between Jack and Alfred, especially that Alfred's biological mother and Tom's wife dies in the very beginning of the series. And there is also a parallel story about siblings Elena and Richard who lose their nobility and now they do their best to survive in medieval times. Later, those two stories soon intertwine and even more interesting things happen. Of course, there is lots of fascinating themes about faith, religion, as well as clergy. And there are both real men of God, but there are also some corrupted black sheep and Judases. We'll get to that later, actually. The tension and suspense are fantastic, the dialogue is really amazing and so well written, and in similar fashion to Game of Thrones, not every character is safe. There are several unexpected heartbreaks and really sad moments, and they're all done completely in service of the story. As I've been saying, I just love the look and the set designs in this series. Medieval towns and castles and churches all look so stunningly real, and as you watch Pillars of Earth, you feel so immersed in the time period in which the series takes place. Overall atmosphere is awesome and perfectly fitting with the setting and themes of the story. It just perfectly matches with gritty and medieval world of the 12th century England. And I also love the Latin church choir. It adds so much more atmosphere to an already very atmospheric miniseries. Like, I do love Latin church choirs in general, just as I love Gothic cathedrals, and in that series it all feels so natural with the story and the atmosphere. I also really love how Pillars of Earth delves deep and explores the Roman Catholic Church and contrasts an evil and corrupt Bishop Wallered, with whom it is clear that he doesn't care about faith one bit. He only cares about power and control, and religion is something he uses to control and manipulate the people. On the opposite side is Prior Philip, who on the other hand is a truly good shepherd and embodies what a true priest and a man of God should be like. And that also puts him in conflict with another evil monk, Brother Remigius, though most evil character, in my opinion, isn't either Bishop Wallered or Brother Remigius, for that matter, but Regan Hamley. This woman is so evil and nasty, and her incestuous relationship with her son is so creepy and unsettling, but it also adds so much more nuance to the story. And speaking of her son, William Hamleth, that guy is a pretty nasty piece of work as well, but when you just see what type of abuse he endures from his evil mother, you kinda feel sympathy for him, if only if very little. He's still pretty evil. Still, Regan Hamley is by far the most evil and despicable character in the whole story. I've just been discussing how compelling and well written the characters are, and the performances are also fantastic. Like, the cast here is just spectacular. Rufus Sewell is so wonderful as Tom the Builder, and Eddie Redmayne is awesome as Jack Jackson. Like, the guy was just born to play Jack Jackson, and I actually don't like Eddie Redmayne in most modern stuff, but in Pillars of Earth, he just fits so well, and as I just said, he was just born to play Jack Jackson, and it was actually one of his debut roles. Clearly, he was so much better actor back then, and also Haley Atwell as Eliana is fantastic, and Sam Claflin as her brother Richard, or Natalia Warner as Jack's mother Ellen, and Ian McShane truly puts all life and evil into his role as a corrupt Bishop Wallered. In general, the characters are so great, with a well-written script, and the actors do everything to bring their characters into life. The building of the cathedral isn't just happening in the background, it very much plays a gigantic role in the story, and it's very integral to it. Like, I love how various styles of building a cathedral are explained and even sometimes shown in detail, such as Jack having his idea to build a cathedral which doesn't work, and the cathedral crumbles as a result, but then he travels to France and realizes his idea could easily have worked if implemented well. Like, the Gothic style is very much explained and so well developed. Apparently, it's actually far more explained in the book with even more detail, but that's natural. There is a lot more you can do in the book, like there is only so much you can do in the movie or series, really.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
And the battle sequences are excellent. There aren't that many of them, and that's great, because battle scenes are only when the story needs them. Most episodes have almost zero battle or fight for that matter, but character interactions and political intrigue and plotting is far more interesting. Still, battle sequences that are shown are excellent. They're bloody, gory, and surprisingly very realistic. The Pillars of Earth story is inspiring and compelling not only because it shows a beautiful creation in the form of a medieval Gothic cathedral dedicated to God, but because it also shows that here on Earth, justice is possible and very much worth fighting for. Some would say that it's not a particularly religious story, but I have to disagree. I feel if you dig deep into it, it's very much a Catholic story, and as I said already, it's about a beautiful cathedral being built in glory to God. And the corrupt Bishop Wallered could be seen basically as the Judas of the story. And still, I love how amazingly well written the story is, and could be easily enjoyed by people of any religion, or non-religious, for that matter. While I do personally find the story religious and Catholic, if you dig very deep into it, as I said, it's a story that I think can be enjoyed by anybody who just wants a fantastic, beautiful story. And you know what else? The Pillars of Earth also got a sequel miniseries called World Without End, which is also based on Ken Follett's book, but in contrast to the Pillars of Earth, I actually heard from the book fans that this one completely doesn't do book any justice, and it barely resembles the book actually, that it practically feels like a completely different story. And again, haven't read the book so can't speak on that, but yes, World Without End is nowhere near as good as the Pillars of Earth. And even though it was only made in 2012, it does kind of feel like a foreshadowing of identity politics in movies, because the biggest issue of World Without End is that the main character, Karis, she acts like so modern and she completely doesn't fit with the medieval times, because this seems like one of the larger problems of Hollywood, that in a lot of medieval movies, characters very much act like they would in modern day, which completely doesn't fit with the medieval times. But Karis from World Without End is just an embodiment of that. Like, she almost feels like a modern person being literally transported to the medieval times. Like, her behavior completely doesn't fit with the medieval period. But we are going off on a tangent, because the Pillars of Earth, on the other hand, is awesome. So stick with the Pillars of Earth. And another amazing thing about the Pillars of Earth is, because the miniseries, it doesn't outstay its welcome. It just tells a simple and compelling story with compelling characters in only 8 episodes, and is all the better for it. And it's about a building a beautiful cathedral in glory to God, and I just really love that show, and also love the dark atmosphere and the Catholic beautiful choir. And if you're just sick of modern Hollywood nonsense and want to actually watch something good but that you haven't seen yet, then I think the Pillars of Earth is just a great choice. Because, like, and again, it's not to say that there aren't many good American and British TV shows. They're certainly still making some, it's just they're much harder to find. But again, just go ahead and watch the Pillars of Earth if you're seeking some good quality TV show with really compelling characters. And so, folks, that concludes another video in the Nature Adventure series. And press the like button. Please subscribe this channel, and I'll talk to you soon in a movie review. Talk to you then. Bye.